Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you didn't know, I'm an NPC bikini competitor, and today I think I'm just going to be taking you guys through my heavy glute day. So it's a strength focused glute day. This is one of my favorite workouts. Cause yeah, I like borderline ego lifting sometimes, and I feel like this workout kind of gives those vibes. Um, Cause yeah, all the sets are 6 to 8 reps per set, so it's just kind of like super heavy, not any isolation work and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll take you guys through that, and then I might go to Costco and get some stuff, and I'll also show you guys my favorite pre-workout meal that I have in my off season. They're pumpkin protein pancakes, and I'll show you everything I use to make those, and yeah, super yummy. And then I also just want to give some updates that are happening currently in my improvement season. So as of right now, I'm about 24 to 25 pounds above my stage weight. So stage weight was 120 pounds, around that, and now I'm about 144.4 again. So angel numbers sending me to good vibes. I've literally stepped on the scale last week I was 144.4, and then my last check-in I was 145.5 or something, and then I weighed myself this morning and I'm back to 144.4. So I just find that funny. I don't know, I've been seeing 444 a lot recently, so it's giving me kind of good vibes, I guess, that I'm on the right track. But yeah, so currently my macros are at 375 carbs, 65 fat, and 155 protein. Before this, they were 390 carb, 70 fat, and 155 protein, but we just dropped my macros a little bit last week just because I was kind of gaining a pound a week roughly, so that's a little quickly. We don't really need to put on more body fat, and I'm feeling really good, so we don't need that much food. And yeah, also I feel like my weight was going up that much because my cheat meals have been kind of big. I try to save enough calories, but yeah, last week I had a burger and fries, and then me and my boyfriend shared a mac and cheese, which was literally so good. I'm gonna put the video of this mac and cheese on here because, guys, I haven't had mac and cheese for a year and a half, maybe longer, and yeah, it was just so good. Yeah, I ate a lot, so, but that's okay. I feel like in improvement season, it's really important to have balance and not fully restrict yourself, because you're gonna regret it if you don't when you get in prep, if that makes sense. It's one meal a week, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, that's what I'm doing differently compared to last off season. Last off season, I was crazy with my cheat meals. I would literally only have a poke bowl or Chipotle, and that's it. I would not have anything else that I wanted. And then in my prep, I felt kind of really restricted because I had been restricting for a while before that. So I'm just living my life a little more this improvement season. But so I'm getting my blood work done in a couple weeks, so I'm curious to see what it's going to be looking like. If you didn't know, my hormones were all super duper tanked after my show in August, and we've been working to recover them. I've had 2 consistent cycles, and I'm supposed to get my 3rd cycle next week, so hopefully it comes and then hopefully all my levels look normal. And then I'm gonna be discussing with my coach possibly prepping for the end of the year. So if I do end up prepping this year, I'm assuming it's gonna start sometime in July. Should be the time frame, and then that will give me July, August, September, October, and then I'm planning on likely competing in November. So I'm kind of assuming I'm gonna need in between a 16 and 20 week prep this year, just because I have a lot more body fat than last time. Last time I literally was ready early and I only had an 8-week prep before my first show. It was supposed to be 12 weeks, but I was ready within 8. So we did an earlier show. So curious to see how I'm gonna feel with the longer prep. And yeah, I don't know, I think I'll like the longer approach, getting in the groove with it. I think it will be fine. We'll see. Honestly, before I even started my prep last year, it was like I was in prep. Like, that's how I was treating it. So it really shouldn't be a big deal doing a 20-week prep. I'm not really worried about it. But obviously, that's not confirmed yet. I have to get my blood work, make sure, I'm in a good mindset to be starting a prep, and also make sure that I'm happy with the amount of muscle and like improvements I've made, because I rather just keep growing if I don't have what I need, like I don't want to go through a prep and like go through all that just to realize I should have taken a few more months to put on more muscle. So yeah, we'll see. I still have a few more months to keep growing, so I'm really gonna be pushing it in the gym, giving it my all while my calories are still high, and hopefully keep putting on some quality muscle. And that is the goal. Okay, so I'll see you guys once I make the pancakes. I'll just like show you what I use, and I'll probably put like the macros up on the screen, and yeah, I'll just show you them. I don't think I'm gonna like make them in front of you guys because my parents are like in the kitchen right now and it's just kind of awkward. So yeah, but yeah, I also, this is really random, but I have really bad gym anxiety with recording. So it's like, do I want to record today? It's also 4:20. Might hit my dad pen before the gym for fun, but then I might get like really tripped out and feel like people are like judging me for recording and just judging me in general. So we'll see if I do that. And also, smoking before your workout, I feel like it's like benefits the workout at the start because you have like a good mind muscle connection and you're just really focused. But with me, I find depending on the strain, like by the end of my workout, I'm just like tired. Like I just feel like I'm done, like the after high crash kind of thing. I don't know. So if that ruins my workout, I'm gonna be really mad. We'll see. Okay, so for the pancakes, I use egg whites, flour, just regular flour, pumpkin, and then I put baking powder, and then I put a bit of this protein powder, just like a few grams. It's maple butter pancake, and there you have it. You can add chocolate chips or whatever you want on top, but this is how I make them. It's really good. And there's the final product. Where's the chocolate chips? I put dark chocolate chips and then a bit of butter on top, and then I just use this syrup. These are really good because they don't have any sugar in them. They're just sweetened with stevia. So, yeah. Okay, so to start off this workout, we're going to be starting with hip thrusts. These are going to be done for 6 to 8 reps for 4 working sets, which are all to failure. To start out, I'm just going to do a few warm-up sets, of course, to build up to my working set weight. So here I am, I'm just doing my warm-up set, focusing on my form and most importantly, my mind-muscle connection. Okay, so now here I am, I'm doing a working set. So this is going to be a set that is taken to absolute failure at the 6 to 8 rep range. A tip for when you're doing your hip thrusts to feel it in your glutes better is instead of thinking of going up and down, kind of think of going forward as you push up and then back. And this is going to really help push up through your glutes. At least this is a cue that has helped me a lot. So give it a try if you tend to feel hip thrust in your lower back, but you might also just have to go lighter if your glutes can't take that load. And then once I finish that, I'm just doing body weight hip thrust just to burn it out a bit more. I like to do this quite often in most of my working sets. And when you're doing these, just think of pressing through your entire foot and really make sure you're only pushing up with your glutes. I find that I can get a really good mind muscle connection with these once my muscles are already fatigued. These are actually quite difficult. So now I'm going to be moving on to the second exercise. These are going to be deadlifts. Some tips for when you're doing these. So what I like to think of doing is as I'm going down, I'm keeping my chest up, and then as I pull up, I'm also keeping my chest up, but I'm thinking of pulling through my lower glute area. I also like to keep my legs a bit straighter, so I also get hamstring activation on the negative really good. I don't know, I really like these. I didn't like these before, but I worked on my form and worked on what feels good for me. This is what I personally like to do. Okay, and then after I do these, I go into body weight good mornings. I really, like I said before, like going into body weight movements to just burn out the muscle even more. And when you're doing these, just think of again pushing through your entire foot and getting a good stretch on your glutes and hamstrings, and really just try to isolate that muscle only. Okay, so now we're going to be moving on to a leg press. What I'm using here is a squat leg press. I really like this um, leg press in particular because I find that I can get a really good stretch on my quads, glutes, and hamstrings all in one, and it just feels really good for me. Again, I don't know if I mentioned this for the deadlifts, but all these exercises are going to be done for 4 sets and 6 to 8 reps per set. So, when you're doing these, think of really getting a good mind muscle connection. So, what I do to help this is I slow down the negative and then I'll also pause at the bottom, feel the muscle I'm trying to work, and then push up through that muscle. When you pause, I find it's a lot easier to engage that specific muscle for when you're going to do the movement, if that makes sense. Like push back up when you pause at the bottom, it's easier to feel it better, is what I find. Um, so this was actually my last set. I'm going to be doing a drop set, so I'm going to drop off 50% of the weight, and then I'm just going to rep it out once again until I can't anymore. And what I recommend doing is for each exercise, do a drop set for at least the last set of each exercise. Another thing is, as you can see, before I started the drop set, I was doing slow reps with the pause until I felt like I couldn't do that anymore. So once you can't do that, you can do quicker reps, if that makes sense. So you can get more reps in. Because if you continue, I don't know, this is just how I like to train. I find I'm best at taking it to failure this way. So give it a try. Yeah. And you can see in my drop set, I just kind of start going, pulsing it kind of because I literally am in so much pain. But anytime your muscles are under pressure, they're still working, and that's how you're going to make gains. Now I'm moving on to reverse hack squats. 4 working sets, 6 to 8 reps once again. And here I'm just doing a warm up set because obviously I'm not gonna just jump on this machine and start doing like 500 pounds right away. You gotta warm up. So here I'm just focusing on my form, and this is a really good exercise for your lower glutes and hamstrings. And what I like to think of doing is keeping my chest up as much as I can and pushing up through my tie-in area. So now I'm moving on to my first working set for this exercise, and I put on about 500 pounds. So it's really heavy. And yeah, so what you want to think of doing is, so your back doesn't get injured, is really make sure you're not rounding it and make sure you're pushing up through your lower glutes and not using your lower back to push up, because I think this is a really common mistake that can happen pretty easily, especially when we're going super heavy. So I'm not gonna lie, I kind of did ego lift a bit here. It was too heavy, so I had to go and drop the weight a bunch my next set, and I just really try to focus on my form, make sure I'm not rounding my upper back, and also making sure that, you know, I don't get injured. So drop the weight, and I just focused on having a really strong mind muscle connection here, and I also was trying to slow down the movement a bit. My muscles are feeling really fatigued at this point in the workout, so I honestly just I felt like my lower back was taking over if I try and push too much weight. So don't be afraid to lower the weight if you have to. Okay, so now I'm doing some reverse lunges on the Smith machine. Of course, I highly recommend always doing these on the Smith machine because you get a lot more balance, and it's a lot easier to focus on a mind muscle connection and using the muscle you want to use when you're using machines versus free weights. So don't be afraid to use the Smith machine. It's not for beginners, and it's extremely helpful for building muscle. So for these, I'm also elevating my toe. I find that this helps me personally make sure I'm doing this movement and using my glutes, not my quads. So give it a try. It helps because I find it kind of takes the pressure off your quad by elevating your toe. Okay, so now I'm just going to be going into body weight lunges. And what I'm doing here is I'm not fully going to put my foot on the ground. I'm going to be almost placing it down and then driving up through my planted leg that's on the ground, if that makes sense. So you're just going to be fully pulling through that glute. And yeah, I'm holding on to the bar for stability, but I'm not necessarily using that to pull myself up. I'm fully using that front leg and just thinking of pushing through my whole foot once again. Pushing through your whole foot is going to really help engage your glutes. Okay, so now to finish off the workout, we're going to be doing a burnout of abductors. So here I'm going to be doing these banded. It's obviously, as you can see, a little bit awkward to put around yourself, but that's okay. The reason I'm using this band is because it helps keep my body in a position that I personally feel it best, and I can also hold on to it. So give this a try. I just did this for the first time this week and I really liked it. So yeah, highly recommend using that. And what you're going to do is you're going to do 12 to 15 full reps, thinking of pushing out through your knee and squeezing with your glutes really hard. And then once you can't complete full reps anymore, you can drop the weight or keep the weight the same and just pulse it out until you can't move the weight anymore at all. So I drop the weight and I just start pulsing it literally until I cannot move the weight at all. Like just keep going. And this is going to really, really burn, but you just gotta push through the pain because I promise that you can keep going for a lot more than you probably think. And remember that anytime your muscles are under any sort of tension, for as long as you can keep them under that tension, it's going to help you build and it's going to help fatigue your muscles even more. Because the way that your muscles are going to grow is by challenging them in a way that they are forced to grow because they physically cannot take that load anymore. So your muscles are really smart. So if you just go in the gym and you do the exact same thing every time and you're not really pushing yourself, your muscles don't have any reason that they need to grow. So really push as hard as you can for the amount of time that you're in the gym. And then, so I guess this was my last set, and I just decided to superset it with these seated good mornings just for fun and to, make this even harder, just because why not? So I went into as many as I could, and honestly, you guys might be like looking at this thinking it doesn't look hard, but I promise it does. Like, after you just did all of that, your muscle is going to be literally so exhausted that this is going to feel very, very difficult. So, what I'm thinking of doing is I'm just pushing through my glute and, letting my glutes do the work, not my back. So, just really push through your entire glute.